Hey guys, welcome back, and today we'll be trying people sketching. For it, I'll be using this watercolor set, this pen, and my truly epic billion-dollar setup. First of all, you want to find a good reference. Personally, I use Pinterest, which has tons of great references, all of which are easily accessible. Something to keep in mind while you are sketching is that you shouldn't initially focus on the details of the figure. Instead, you should just loosely sketch an outline, and once you have done that, you can start adding the finer details. This makes it much easier to position the details correctly. Also, if you focus on one element at a time without being distracted by details, then mistakes become far more scarce. That said, this was something I struggled with during this video, and is definitely something I should work on. Another thing that I found incredibly useful for making the figure proportionate without having to use complicated anatomy and guidelines was to take into consideration that the distance between the top of the head and the lowest portion of the torso was equivalent to that of 3 heads stacked on top of each other, and from the lowest portion of the torso to the bottom of the legs was also the same as the distance of 3 of the figure's heads. This made it far easier to accurately draw the outline, rather than having to just rely on guesswork. Moving on to the next sketch, we can use the same principle of the 3-head rule to loosely and accurately draw the outline of this figure. Again, we don't want to draw any specific details yet, we just want to sketch some loose shapes and form an outline, which will make it much easier to add the details later on. The most important thing if you are trying to improve is to practice. Don't worry if one of the sketches you make doesn't look good, just try not to make that same mistake again. For instance, this is what happened when I tried to draw hands.
I have no knowledge of any of this! This is so bizarre!
After just about recovering from seeing those hands, I was pretty relieved to find out that this reference didn't have any visible ones. Also, I think that this ended up being the best one in the end. I think both the sketch went well and the application of the watercolor. Now that all the sketches are done, I'll be moving on to the application of watercolor. I just used a quick, light wash for each of them and didn't pay too much attention trying to make everything perfect, which I think adds a bit of character to each of them as well. There were 4 sketches made in total.
God, it's Albert Einstein!
And not exactly everything went well. But overall, I think it was a good effort. I hope you enjoyed, and my next video should be out by 2050. Peace.